Hello, I'm Azai. Welcome back to 99. So I just came back from the gym and actually I haven't really been as hungry when I come back from the gym. Probably because I'm cutting and also eating a lot more protein. So my satiety, is that how you say that word? I hope I'm saying that correctly. My satiety levels are actually pretty high since I'm eating stuff that fills my stomach a lot more. I'm eating a lot more protein, I'm eating a lot more fiber. Overall, I'm just eating a lot more healthy compared to what I was doing when I was just intuitively eating and not caring too much because I wasn't meal prepping. I was buying lots of junk food. I was eating lots of fried stuff. Overall, I have a lot more energy now because yeah, all that fat that I've been like consuming really makes your body feel sluggish. That's how I feel anyway. But yeah, enough about that. You guys probably don't even like me talking about the gym, but I really like talking about health and stuff. I am definitely, you know, a pro when it comes to advocating for exercise and health in general. Because I do feel like everyone needs to understand how important it is for our daily life or our life in general. But yeah, as I said, enough about that. Let's talk about the last episode recap. So on the last episode, we start off, 9-9. We're the main character called Kakeru Nimi, I believe. That's the main character's family name. We got a sister, Sora. We also got a very close friend. Or we're pretty close with our teacher, Naruse something. I forgot her actual name, but I believe Naruse is her family name. But yeah, we got into a job, and that job was to secure this artifact in the shrine which got destroyed. And that developed into a lot of abnormal stuff that started happening in the Shimo something? I forgot the name of the city in this game. Don't worry guys, this is only the second episode. I will definitely try to remember a lot of the stuff past this point. But yeah, a lot of stuff started weirdly happening in the town, or city, or whatever you want to call this place. Lots of supernatural stuff. This girl we met, or not we met, but this girl that's basically our classmate got this hair clip that always gets into her pocket for some weird reason. And we get to see this weird creature looking thing that looks like a plushie that keeps going to our house. And the last time we actually saw like a statue of a girl that is probably a real person because she probably got petrified, and after like Yoichi, that's our probably the best friend guy in this game, like got the, what is it, like the fingernail? Yeah, the fingernail. He kinda got the fingernail off on the pinky and it starts spewing blood. So yeah, very weird stuff is starting to happen in this town because of the artifact being destroyed. So far, I'm really enjoying just how chill and relaxing the atmosphere is. I said this on my post on Patreon, but the scenario is really nice and chill. I don't know, maybe it's because the fact that I've been playing so many visual novels that have gameplay. This is definitely my comfort space, you know, guys. Gameplay visual novels are fun, but I do think there is always going to be a point in time when I am gonna be sick of the gameplay. But these visual novels where I'm just voicing my thoughts and them telling the story and giving you guys my thoughts on them, it's my comfy and comfortable space. I've been playing these a lot more back when I was younger, and I still think that I enjoy these a lot more. But yeah, let me change my mouse here real quick, my main computer. But after what we saw last time, we got in contact with Kujo. She said that, yeah, that girl might be an actual person, but we don't believe it because you know, we were messaging and she could probably kind of feel that when we were hesitant to reply, when she said that, she didn't want to make it awkward.
ロードしますね。
And this is the day after we messaged her.
ロードしました。
I wake up a few seconds before my alarm and stop it as soon as it rings. I kick off my comforter and get up. What's a comforter? Rubbing the sleep from my eyes, I stumble to the bathroom. After heeding nature's call, I brush my teeth and wash my face. I grab a jelly drink from the fridge and walk over to my PC. This should be a school day, so I don't know why he's actually booting up his PC this early in the morning. After it boots up, I begin checking the daily news sites while changing into my uniform. See, I feel like he's not being efficient. He could have just used his phone. He has a smartphone.
Huh?
I grunt absentmindedly. Missing girl discovered a statue. Okay. I mean, I kind of knew this was where the story was coming into or heading to, but I guess the guy wasn't thinking too much about it because he was kind of creeped out about the whole event. This headline doesn't make any sense. I continue reading the article. She was last seen on the night of the 18th at the cram school she attended. She never returned home, and late at night, as her parents grew increasingly concerned, they contacted the authorities. A citizen subsequently reported encountering an unusual statue in a local park, and police investigation uncovered that the object in question was not in fact a statue at all. The girl's belongings were found inside the petrified bag, and data was recovered from her petrified cell phone's memory. So, the cell phone was petrified, but the memory wasn't? Really? Several other pivotal factors further confirmed the identity of the statue as the girl herself. How her skin was turned to stone is still unknown. So she's not dead, right? She was bleeding when we tore off her fingernail. I go through several news sites, checking the facts at each one, but they're all completely consistent.
マジかよ。
Yeah, I'm not gonna voice act this. We've already voice acted this on the last episode, the Naruto flashbacks. Kujo's message from the night before pops into my mind. It can't be. What she was afraid of turned out to be true? No, the truth is undeniable now. That was no statue. It was a person. The fingernail wasn't some prop set up by the sculptor for an elaborate prank. It was the girl's actual fingernail. The blood was real. So why wasn't she fully petrified? That's my question. If this was intended to be this way, she should have been fully petrified, right? So that no one would have known this was her. But not all of her body is actually turned to stone. And her skin was turned to stone. Which means under the stone was once flesh and warm blood. I checked my timeline on Twitter. Whatever. It's not Twitter anymore, it's X. A strange disease is turning people to stone. You can smell a whiff of perverse delight running through the posts. Among the fear and consternation? What the fuck is that word? Damn you, localization team, for being... I don't know. What do you say when localization team use big words instead of just normal words? Arrogant? No? I don't know. One theory claims it's a virus from outer space, and it's crazy how many people are actually standing up for that view. A handful of locals, or just people who know more about the town, are even drawing connections to that lousy anime. Apparently, there's a monster in it that turns people into stone. That faction is claiming that the earthquake awakened the monster, and that it's what's responsible for turning the girl to stone. Until someone deals with the monster, this mystery disease isn't going away, or so they say. This is nuts. But I can't say with complete confidence that they're wrong, and that's frustrating. Someone was turned to stone. That's crazy in and of itself, and yet I saw it with my own eyes. The virus from outer space? The mysterious monster? Bizarre as they sound, one of them might even be right. With a mutter, I dismissed the whole situation as someone else's problem and closed my laptop. First, Kujo's paranormal phenomenon. Now, a disease turning people to stone. And from the way Kujo's been acting, I'm starting to think there's some link between the two. What was it Kujo said again? Something about a curse?
神器が壊れたせいで白蜜川に災いが降りかかったなわけないか
Shiro Mitsugawa, there we go. That's the name of the town.
いいえ、その通り。正解よ。
Is this the freaking plushie?
Huh?
I hear an unfamiliar girl's voice, prompting me to turn around so fast you can practically hear the whoosh. Typo? Nothing. No one is there. Of course no one's there. This is my apartment. I'm the only one who should be here.
空かなんか仕込んだのかおい
No response. Am I imagining things? Hearing things? Or maybe I'm a victim of a paranormal phenomenon of my own.
くそバカみてアホか
I try to shame myself into acting tougher. After getting spooked by the voice, I gulped down my jelly drink while roughly scratching my head. I guess our main character, even though he is pretty calm and collected, is not really genre savvy, is he? I hope I'm saying that correctly, by the way. Like, what I mean by genre savvy is that I am a person that reads a lot of stories and whatnot, right? So when something like this happens, it doesn't really bother me too much. Like, you know, when something strange happens, I think I'm someone that can convince myself that, yeah, this is pretty normal. Like, you know, if I were to see the plushie talking to me, I'd be like, okay, I'm just gonna take it as is for now. Unable to completely shake off the feeling of dread, I quickly finished getting ready for the day, while constantly checking over my shoulder. I then make my way to school, earlier than usual. Like he didn't even check that thoroughly about the voice.
そろそろと思ったけれど、もう少し様子を見た方が良さそうね。
Is he talking about the awakening of our power? Are we actually gonna get that power that I read in the VNDB synopsis? Nothing from class is sticking, even more so than usual. Yoichi started chattering away at me the moment I walked in the classroom. And Sora, not knowing that I left early, waited for me until she was almost late for school. So you can add guilt over that to my list of concerns. During lunch, the case of the petrified girl ends up being the talk of the school. Kujo looks more tense than usual too. Also, the more I remember it, the less confident I feel that the voice I heard was just my ears playing tricks on me. No way am I crazy enough to hear a voice so crystal clear like that. So then, what did I hear? And for that matter, what's the deal with that plushie that just appeared in my room one day? Is it some cursed toy? Or maybe an artifact spirit that brings good luck? I heave a brief sigh and collapse on my desk. Maybe I should try talking to Miss Naruse about it. Or maybe I could bring it up with Kujo. Like, you know, I'm having a run-in with the paranormal too. Or something. I bet it'd make a great conversation starter. That kind of wishful thinking is the only thing keeping me from being totally down in the dumps. God, I'm so pathetic. At the sound of the bell, we stand and bow. That's the last morning class. Maybe my mood will improve a little after I eat some lunch and fill my belly. Oh crap.
かけるくん、ランチの時間よ。
Yoichi comes over to my desk with a convenience store bag in hand.
どうしたの？食べないの？
食べたいけど飯がない。
Can't we just buy stuff in the cafeteria? I thought he did so a couple of days ago.
え、買ってないの？
朝買うの忘れた。購買行ってくるわ。
What about the cafeteria? I know for a fact that a couple of days ago he said he bought food in the cafeteria.
じゃあ僕も行こう。
先食っててもいいぞ。
一人で食べたくないし、ジュース買うから一緒に。
Why did he say cafe there?
なになになに？
Out of nowhere, the fire alarm goes off. A shrill, blaring sound.
なに？避難訓練？
それなら事前になんかあるだろう。連絡とか。
なんでそんな冷静なの？男前で濡れちゃうんだけど。
めっちゃビビってるっつうの。お前の方が余裕あるじゃねえか。
てかどうしよう。避難した方がいいの？去年あったよね。誰かがいたずらで押したこと。
とりあえず先生とか来るまで。
Throughout the whole, of me going to school, there's actually only been one instance of the fire alarm actually ringing, and that was actually just a demonstration. My phone vibrates, so I pull it out of my pocket and check it. Sora's calling me. She texts me constantly, but she hardly ever calls.
どったの？
妹から電話。
紹介して。
バーカ。
Yeah, the localization is putting words too aggressively, in my opinion. He clearly just said baka there and not get bent. Like, get bent is like way more aggressive and way ruder than how it's trying to portray Kakeru. I feel like, I don't know, this localization is not bad or anything, but it's adding a bit too much. I cut Yuichi down to size before answering the call.
もしも。
Sora's shriek pierces my ear and cuts me off mid-hello. I blink, suddenly serious. Sora only calls me Oni-chan when she really needs my help. Really? She calls you Oni-chan when she's serious?
どうした？
What the fuck?
は？火をつけたって放火が？
I find myself yelling that question. All eyes turn to me, and the classroom works itself up into a frenzy. But I can't be bothered to worry about that.
なんでそんなことになったんだ？
Did he get hypnotized? Did he get possessed?
逃げられるか？窓からは？くそ。
Every exit is sealed off? Oh no, my audio interface is actually blinking. I hope it doesn't fuck up. It's not a drill, so the fire engine should be coming any moment now.
電話切るな。そのままにしておけ。お前何組だ？
I'm surprised we don't know what her class is.
待ってろ。今行く。
I slip my phone in my pocket, leaving the call live.
なんかやばい雰囲気を感じたんだけど。
火事だ。1階が燃えてる。
どうすれば。
I can't afford to stand around and deal with Yuichi's panicking. I dash out into the hall. What am I going to do? Even if I go to the first floor, what can I even do? Gotta fill a bucket with water. No. Okay, give me a sec, guys. I gotta try to make this audio interface not go haywire for a bit. It's like blinking to hell. Okay, I'm back. Hopefully that fixes the blinking. Just re-plug the cable right there. Kujo seems to have followed me for some reason. I really can't spare the time to talk to her.
妹のクラスメイトが火をつけたらしい。知らねえし、悪い。後にしてくれ。
I pull a fire extinguisher from its storage container and rush toward the stairs. Kujo follows.
危ねえぞ。教室で待ってろ。妹が逃げ遅れてるんだ。
力になれるかもしれない。
Don't you have like multiple fire extinguishers? She could probably get another one. It's useless arguing with her, so we rush down the stairs. Depending on how big the school is, usually every floor should have a fire extinguisher. If it's actually bigger, maybe sometimes multiple fire extinguishers in a single floor. The first floor is a sea of flames, but there's something strange about them. The windows, walls, and floors are burning up, yet I don't feel any heat, huh? There's no smoke coming from the flames either. What the hell? I can only tell they're hot by moving right up next to them. There's something peculiar about the way the fire is burning too. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like they're not burning any material. They're just there. In any case, it's a bizarre sight. A bunch of students are crowded together, watching it from a distance. Is he a pyromancer? Is this the part where these youths actually get their powers? He's a pyromaniac? I'm chastising myself as well as the others. I'm no better than them right now. I pull out the pin on the extinguisher, point the nozzle at the blaze, and squeeze down the lever. A white mist engulfs the area 10 feet in front. The can runs dry in a mere 10 or 15 seconds, and I reel at how pathetically short it lasted. However, what makes my blood run colder than that is... the flames are still burning, unaffected. If someone is producing the flames, then yeah, I really doubt it's gonna get extinguished. I finally understand why the students and teachers nearby are just standing there in confusion. The flames don't just look abnormal. Did someone spill some kind of chemical? I'm not going to resolve this by thinking about it. I'll try another extinguisher. If one full extinguisher isn't enough, then I'll use up as many as it takes. I walk toward the storage box, but Kujo grabs my arm.
無駄だと思う。別の方法で火を消さないと。
別の方法って
I'm panicking so much that I snap at her. Kujo, on the other hand, is trying her best to be composed as she reasons with me. Huh? How the fuck does she know about this? Yeah, this is definitely like the ESP thing that I talked about in the first episode.
Huh? 何の
分かった。説明は後でするから。ここは私に任せて。
待て任せてってどうするつもりだ
火をつけた人を見つける。
見つけてどうする
見つかったら多分消せる。
I don't understand what she could possibly mean, but her firm gaze is reassuring. There's something in it that makes me want to believe her.
本当にできるんだな
確認はできないけど、やってみせる。
空
I take out my phone and shout her name.
放火したやつまだそばにいるか
なんか奇跡聞こえる。怖くて外出らんない。
分かった待ってろ九条 D 組だ規制上げてるやつ
D 組ね。分かった。
How can you even pinpoint it though? Because you can't see him, you can't... Well, like...
俺が先に行く九条はついてきてくれ
でも
Isn't the whole, like, first floor in fire?
口論はなしにしようぜ
I don't get it. I thought that her class was also on fire. I take off my blazer and fan away the flames. Maybe I can't put them out, but they at least flicker to the side a moment. Still, no smoke. And despite the sea of flames, there are a lot of safe areas. Okay, that makes sense, So, it's not like everything is fully engulfed. We can make it through.
行くぞ
Keeping an eye out for patches of hallway that aren't ablaze, I dash through, carving a path by brushing the flames aside with my blazer. Completely avoiding the flames proves difficult, and they occasionally lick at my arms and legs. Should have, you know, use a bucket or go to the bathroom and douse yourself in water first. I'm getting flashbacks to when I used to cook for myself. The pain is about as bad as when I accidentally touched a hot frying pan. However, neither my blazer nor any part of me that the flames touch actually catches fire. Admittedly, I've never seen a real fire on this scale, so I don't know exactly what it acts like, but this is definitely strange. The onlookers go silent as an unsettling scream echoes through the hall. There, in the center of a cylindrical wall of flames, a boy is thrashing around, head and arms, typo, flailing unnaturally as he rages. There's like multiple typos in this game, I just realized this. Like multiple typos in a single episode, it's nuts.
あの人ね、
見つけたぞ。どうする？
10メートルまで近づかないと。
So is her skill gonna be like canceling other people's skill?
10メートル？相当近いぞ。
10 meter is like 10 meters. I really hate that, you know, like the localization also changes the meters into feet. I'm not American, man. I don't know how far fucking 30 feet is.
分かってるけど、試したらそれが限界だったの。
わかんねえ。その理由も後で教えろよ。
I brush more flames aside with my blazer as we close the distance.
俺の力が
Another scream. A pillar of fire erupts from the ceiling. The flames wreath around the student and grow as he cries out. I can't get any closer. Damn, the front of Class D's room looks like the gates of hell itself.
力が勝手にあっつくそなんだよあいつ中二か
Chuni? He said, you know, like the 8th grader syndrome thing.
やっぱりユーザーだ、あの人。
そのユーザーって何なんだ
後で話すから。ありがとう。やっと射程距離に入った。
超能力でも使う気か
その通り。
はあ
Kujo extends her left hand. This is reminding me a lot of this other visual novel called Sakura no Mori Dreamers. I don't know if it's gonna go into the same sort of like route though, or same sort of story sequence, but that was a game that I played back when I wasn't really actively making videos for people on YouTube. But that was actually a really nice visual novel. I really wish I was recording that Let's Play. As a Let's Play, I mean.
系列の結びとの力。せめて世のため人のために。
She's muttering something under her breath. Don't tell me it's some sort of an incantation. But maybe that's exactly what it is. A pattern. No. An emblem appears in the back of her hand. What the hell is that? I don't know. A mysterious glowing blue symbol appears on the back of Kujo's hand.
九条なんだよそれ
後で話すから。どれ？あの人を狂気に走らせたのは。
Kujo hesitates, her glowing left hand still outstretched toward the male student. I don't have the foggiest idea what she's doing. I'm fully occupied waving my blazer around, pushing the flames aside so they don't engulf Kujo. Of course, between me wildly waving around my jacket and Kujo's light show, we're bound to draw attention no matter how crazy this guy is, and he turns her away.
なんだよ来るんじゃねえあっち行ってろ九条
The flames rush at us like a tsunami, and I instinctively shield Kujo from it. The flames pass over us and scatter to the floor and walls.
ミミ君大丈夫？
俺は大丈夫だ九条は平気か
ごめんなさい。ありがとう。大丈夫。
腕を振ったら炎がこっちに来たぞ あいつ炎を操ってるみたいに。
多分そうだと思う。
あいつも超能力者だっていうのか。
今はそういう解釈でいい。
否定してほしかったんだけどな。
逃げちゃう。射程の外に。
Even when you were in range, it's not like you actually just stopped his stuff. What is your skill, Kujo? At least tell us so that we know what we need to do. I look over my shoulder to see the guy stepping back, still screaming. She said she was trying to find what the hell it is that's making him go crazy. From the look in his eyes, he's totally lost it. And there's a glowing symbol on his face, just like the one on Kujo's hand.
なるほど、超能力か。これ10メートルだな。
ええ。
あいつの動きを止める。あとは任せる。
新見くん。
I ignore her and charge headlong at him. If this were a manga, I'd be shouting courageously while I do it. But instead, let's just say that if I weren't grinding my teeth together right now, I'd be crying like a little bitch from the pain. So I shout out my war cry in my head. I'm not gonna voice act that. The unnatural flames burn me everywhere. Intense pain assaults me, the sensation of being seared alive. And yet my clothes don't catch fire. Therefore, these flames have to be fakes. Meaning the pain is an illusion too. I don't think so, man. But he might be right. Maybe what he's controlling is not actual fire, but it's genjutsu, which is like an illusion. Illusion that tricks your, you know, your peripheral vision or your like senses. A gout of flame flies at me. I plunge straight through it, grabbing onto the student. I pin him to the ground. My phone falls from my pocket and hits the floor, and I hear Sora's voice coming from it. She can probably see me from the classroom. Hang on, Sora. Leave it to me. Or rather, leave it to her.
Kujo!
新見くん、あなたのこと尊敬する。
I don't know what she said there, but I don't think she said incredible, but maybe she did? I don't know. With a line that would make me blush under ordinary circumstances, Kujo extends her left hand once more. The symbol on her hand is the same as this guy's. Wait, actually, the design is different. Is it some sort of counter to his power to control flame? Speaking of which...
じっとしてろ。九条まだか。
ごめんなさい。何かその人が身につけているものを。
身につけているものなんだ。どうすればいい。
身につけているもの。多分アクセサリー。髪飾りみたいな。視界に入らないとダメなの。
Is that the catalyst of his power?
何がしてえのかやっぱわかんねえけど。やめろ。暴れんなうっせ。黙ってろ。
Yeah, the flames are definitely an illusion, because we would have definitely felt like heat a long time ago. I guess once we know that this is all an illusion, like once we think that this is all fake, it doesn't hurt us. Giving in to my anger, I slug the guy in the face. His head hits the floor and bounces off with a dull thud. And after a groan, he stops flailing around. But I don't know though, the thing is, it actually triggers the fire alarm. It can confuse our senses, but there's no way it can confuse actual physical devices, right? So maybe the flames are actually real. How are we not feeling any sort of heat then? This is making me question it. Oh shit, did I kill him? I panic for an instant before the burning pain brings me back to what I need to do. Gotta find the jewelry. She said a hair clip, but a dude wouldn't be wearing that. Where could it be, damn it?
首からぶら下げているやつよ。銀の十字架。
That voice again. Now's not the time to worry about who it is.
信じるぞ。
I flip the unconscious guy over onto his back. There it is, a silver cross. I grab it and yank at the thin chain with all my might. hoisting it up.
九条これだ。
ありがとう。お願い成功して。
She closes her glowing left hand into a fist. I feel an odd discomfort for a split second. In the palm of my hand, it's like the thing that should be clenched in my fist disappeared.
できた。
The cross that was in my hand has appeared in Kujo's. What on earth?
すぐにその男から離れなさい。
That voice again. I instinctively follow its advice, jumping back and putting some distance between myself and the boy. And then it happens. He should still be unconscious, but the student's eyes pop open, and he screams as he scratches at the symbol in his face. The flames near him, no, every flame throughout the hallway suddenly quivers and goes flying straight at him. A hail of arrows and spears of fire. A tempest of flame. So he's like absorbing all the flames inside. Kujo gasps. I wanted to cover her, but I couldn't get to her in time. I hit the deck as a vortex of flame engulfs the boy. I can only watch in horror. So is he dead? A death cry. It fades off into the distance, along with the flames. It's almost as if nothing ever happened. The flames vanish as quickly as a bubble bursting, leaving not a trace behind. What the hell was that?
新見くん。
I don't know why Kujo said my name, but I reply anyway, as I get up to examine the fallen student.
生きてるよね。
多分な。
The boy's eyes are rolled back into his head, and he's foaming at the mouth. He's curled up in a fetal position, his fists balled up near his chin, twitching and convulsing. The symbol in his cheek is gone. His clothes are fine. Not a burn on him. It seems the same goes for Kujo and myself. Despite running through that sea of fire, we're unscathed.
新見くん、上着と。
I still don't understand how we can do that. I feel like that's a plot hole. If you guys are new here, I am always the type of person that would point out plot holes, guys. Like, this whole action sequence was pretty cool, but I do think there should be a reasonable explanation about how we were able to withstand the heat. Kujo collects both the blazer and the cell phone I dropped earlier and hands them to me. I give her my thanks and take them. After what we went through, I have no choice but to admit it. He was using some superpower that let him control flames.
サイレンの音。
やっと消防車が来たか。ここから離れた方が。お兄ちゃん。いって。
I take a powerful shot to the gut. Sora glomps onto me, wrapping both arms around my waist. I look up to see all the trapped students starting to evacuate. I actually didn't know what glomp means back then, but I played like Persona 4 Golden. And there was like this scene where Teddy actually glomps someone, which is Yosuke. I think he actually wanted to glomp Nanako back then, but DMC wouldn't let him. Several of them are shaken up and crying, while others are silent, surveying the area with mouths agape in confusion. To them, the fire just vanished off its own accord.
もう大丈夫だ。
I set my hand on Sora's head and stroke her hair. Kujo watches us with a smile. This is kind of embarrassing.
ありがとう、新見くん。
何が何だかわけわかんねえ。なんで礼を言われてるのかも。ちゃんと話してくれよ。
約束は守ります。
Yeah, this is really reminding me of Sakura no Mori Dreamers. A bit less intense and a bit less edgy though, because Sakura no Mori Dreamers was really edgy. It was my type of edge though, like the main character is really my type of like character. I really like the main character. Her tone is a tad stiff. There were also a lot more deaths in that one. Like in this one, there actually doesn't seem to be any deaths just yet. Like the petrified girl, for all we know, could still be alive too. Kujo pulls her gaze away from us and turns around. I follow her stare as I try to calm Sora down. She's watching the evacuating students. The teachers are barking instructions. You know, they've got some nerve considering they stood there as slack-jawed as everyone else. I absent-mindedly chastise them to myself. A short time afterwards, every student in the school is ordered to assemble in the gymnasium to await further instructions. They make us wait about 3 minutes. The principal comes out and, without attempting to explain the earlier incident, briefly announces that everyone is free to go home for the day, effectively dismissing us. Since I'm worried about Sora, I decide to walk her back to my folks' place. Or so I planned at least. However, given Kujo and I had been witness plunging into the heart of that conflagration, there was no way they were going to just let us leave without asking us a few questions first. I entrust Sora to a friend of hers who apparently lives nearby, and Kujo and I offer our explanation to the firefighters. We limit ourselves to only telling them about the unusual nature of the fire. Normally, they would never buy our story, but with the additional evidence of videos provided by some of the onlookers, they're forced to accept it. It burned unnaturally, and it went out just as unnaturally, and the videos prove it. Did they not caught the video about her using some sort of weird ESP power? Or I guess ESP has power in the abbreviation, so just should call it ESP. Things don't go as smoothly at our next questioning. We get a very welcome talking to from the head teacher of our grade. I can't believe how reckless that was. You two could have died in there. I get annoyed at the pointless lecture, which she of course notices, so naturally starts chewing me out even worse. After he finally winds down his sermon and let us go, Miss Narsa comes out with us and says, that cheers me up a little.
ああ、やっと解放されたぜ。
終わった後の方が大変だったかも。
We trudged through the front gates. The fire engine seems to have left. Why did they call it fire engines? That's so weird. First time I actually heard the firefighters are being called fire engines. Those firefighters must have been awfully confused. They rushed to the scene only to find no trace of a fire, and on top of that, the students gave them a story that made no sense. Well, whatever. Their problem, not mine.
お疲れさん。
He said, good work.
お疲れ様。今日はもう休むよね。
Tell me what the hell happened first.
そうだな。まずは飯食わねえとな。腹減って死にそう。
じゃあ一緒に食べない？約束したから。
ああ、あの話か。別に明日でもいいぞ。九条も疲れてるだろ。
This guy is a lot more understanding than I am. I definitely would have wanted to know what the hell is going on ASAP.
大丈夫。
The fact that he was able to say that, sentence to her, he's actually a pretty nice guy.
そっか。じゃあ、ナインボール行くかな。
今の時間は多分混んでると思う。ランチタイムは主婦の人たちでいっぱいで。
じゃあ、どっか適当に入るか。あ、九条は弁当？
ええ。でも、そうね。できれば人のいないところで話したいかも。
We could go to your house or my house, I guess. After I buy like a convenience store bento.
人のいないところか。ああ、弁当も食えるところだと俺んちくらいしか思いつかないな。
お邪魔しても大丈夫？
え、いいのか？
ご迷惑じゃなければ。
迷惑なんてことはないけど。ああ、じゃあ俺んち行くか。
うん。あ、 荷物カゴに入れてね。
ありがとう。
I set my bag in Kujo's bike basket and we head off. I can't believe I'm bringing Kujo to my apartment. This is the first time I'll be having over a girl, other than Sora. Yeah, this is the youth thing that I'm always talking about. I feel like when you're a bit older, this doesn't really like bother you anymore. Like, it's not even about being a virgin because, as I said, I'm still a virgin at 27 years old. It's just you don't really care about it anymore. I'm freaking out here. Between our exhaustion and the obvious tension, our conversation grinds to a halt. Stewing in the awkwardness, we head toward my apartment. We pop into the convenience store on the way so I can buy myself a lunchbox. And then at last, we reach my apartment. Don't overthink this. I'm just grabbing a midday bite with Kujo. I'm alone with a girl in my apartment. I can't let her find out how excited I am over this.
お店に来ないときはいつもコンビニで。
だな。あとはスーパーの弁当とか。
そうなんだ。
九条、その弁当自分で作ったの？
ええ。たまにお母さんに作ってもらうこともあるけれど、できる限り自分で。
すごいな。俺には無理だ。
This is why you're still young, Kakeru. I meal prep everything for the whole week. You don't really need to make everything, you know, the day that you need lunch. Just meal prep, put it in a freezer, then bring your lunch. Well, I guess not all cafeterias have a microwave, but I assume cafeterias could probably heat up the food for you, right?
よかったらこれ食べて。
え、いいのか？
コンビニのお弁当だけじゃバランス悪いもの。嫌いじゃなかったらどう？
Lies! Japanese convenience store food are actually very well balanced. As long as you purchase the right stuff, of course. The one that has vegetables, protein, and also carbs.
ありがとう。
She passes me a bit of her braised spinach. I take a bite.
うまい。
よかった。
We're all alone, sitting across from each other. Here I am, eating food prepared by a girl. I'm getting pretty worked up, seeing one of my most cherished dreams from when I first started living alone finally come to fruition. But this is no time to get lost in my thoughts.
結局何だったんだ？あれ。
Kujo's chopsticks freeze. A madman wreathed in flame. Breath? I don't know how to say that word. Kujo, a blue symbol flashing on her left hand, so similar to the one on the man's cheek. Unexplained superpowers. I need to know what's going on. This is no time to get all love-struck and dopey.
説明する前に、まず体験してもらった方がいいかもしれない。
あ、もう十分体験した。どんな話でも信じる。
ええ。でも理解もしてもらおうと思って。私のこと。
So, what can you do? I guess she can teleport items into her like possession. But how does that actually help with the you know, the last time we fought against that pyromaniac guy? She sets down her chopsticks, pulls out her phone, and begins fiddling with it. She props it up on my bookcase, pointing the camera in my direction.
動画撮るね。
Yeah, she probably notices how she was using teleportation, or I don't know what sort of ESP it's called, where you teleport the item to your being, yeah, but she probably did that with the hair clip.
ああ、いいけど。
新見くんの持ち物何か借りていい？
何か？
ええ。できれば愛着のあるものを。
愛着。ああ、じゃあ。
Glancing around, I spot my cell phone out on the table beside me, and I pick it up and hand it to her.
ありがとう。くだらない質問だけど、ごめんなさい。付き合ってね。
あ、
これは新見くんのスマートフォンで私の持ち物じゃない。そうよね。
はい、そうです。
黒いカバーがつけてある。
うん、一緒に買った。
気に入ってる？
もちろん。片落ちだけど入学祝いに買ってもらったやつだから大事に使ってる。
ありがとう。はい、返すね。
あ、
Oh, sorry about that. I take my phone, dumbfounded. I'm clueless as to what she's trying to do here, but I play along while taking another bite of spinach.
じゃあようやく本題。
She raises her left hand. The magic hand. Back at school, I thought I had a firm grip on that guy's jewelry, but somehow it ended up in Kujo's hand.
私の手よく見ていて。
わかった。
When she inhales and holds her breath, the emblem reappears in her hand, producing a faint glow. I blink for less than a second. When my eyes open, I notice that Kujo is now holding a smartphone with a black cover in her hand.
それだ、瞬間移動。あの時もそうだった。
これ誰のスマートフォンかわかる？
あ、九条のだろ？
私のはあっちに。
You idiot!
あ、そっか。二台持ち？
Wait, what the hell? She copied it?
一つしか持ってない。
No, it's ours. Okay. It is just teleportation. If he already knows about teleportation, why isn't he like checking his own fucking phone? This guy is a bit dumb sometimes.
じゃあ誰の？それどっから移動させたの？
この部屋にあった。
あれ？空の忘れ物か？いや、あいつの機種それじゃなかったし。
見覚えはない。
全く。
Huh? Wait, what the hell? Doesn't look familiar. Wait. What is her power then? Is it actually taking the memories along with the item? Huh?
わかった。ありがとう。はい。
Interesting.
返すね。
ああ、うん。
She hands the phone to me.
そのスマートフォン誰のかわかる？
え？俺のだけど。
さっきまで知らないって言ってた。
え？いやいや、俺のだし。言わねえよ、そんなこと。
Hmm.
そう。ありがとう。実験終わり。
So the reason why she needed to videotape that was because we're not aware of the fact that that happened to us. I see. As I tilt my head in utter confusion, Kujo goes to retrieve her phone from the bookshelf. So I guess the silver cross holds some sort of meaning to the pyromaniac guy, and after she actually teleported it into herself, it lost its meaning, and the catalyst was gone so that he wasn't able to channel his power? I don't know.
見て。
She fusses with the phone for a minute, then shows me the screen. I watch the video on it. Kujo asks her question. I answered in turn. Kujo lifts her left hand. Her hand shines and my phone teleports to her hand. And then... the me in the recording offers up an insane answer to her question. I'm saying I don't recognize my own phone. What's more...
こんなこと喋った記憶がない。
そう。それが私の力。
Kujo speaks, watching timidly for my reaction.
他人の持ち物の所有権を奪い、その持ち物に関する記憶まで消してしまう。この能力によって奪った物品は問答無用で私のものになるの。
Interesting.
元の持ち主は奪われたことに気がつかないし、私が所有権を放棄しない限り、初めから持っていなかったものとして振る舞う。
Couldn't you like steal anything then with this? Damn, if I had her power, I'd probably be stealing money. I'd be fucking a millionaire, billionaire, whatever is after a billionaire.
所有権を放棄した後も奪われたことに気がつかない。持ち物に関する記憶が戻る代わりに私が奪っていた間の記憶が抜け落ちるから、他人の大事なものを自分の所有物にしてしまう盗人の力。
それをあの時使ったのか。
ええ、発動条件は対象の10メートル以内に近づくこと、そして対象物が私の視界に入っていること。
I guess you can't really steal money, so just go to a museum or something where they put like diamonds and shit.
アーティファクトに通用するかどうかは賭けだったけど。
アーティファクト？
That is what she said, right? Come to think of it, she also used that word back when we were checking out the statue.
輪廻転生のメビウスリング。知ってるとは思うけど、見たことはある。
Is that something from the anime?
え？うん。
Apparently, we're talking about anime now? Nevertheless, I refrained from voicing my confusion and let her continue. It's probably pertinent information.
作中にね、アーティファクトってアイテムが登場するの。すごく似ていたから名前を借りた。
アイテム。まさか。
そう。
She pulls out something from her uniform pocket and lays it on the table. I guess it's the hair clip. But she didn't have it though when she first did it, right? When she first got it back into school. The cursed hair clip.
登場人物たちは特殊な力を持っているの。その力はそれぞれ所有している専用のアーティファクトから引き出したもの。そしてこの髪飾りが私にこの力を与えた。他人から物を奪い、記憶を都合よく改ざんしてしまう。
じゃあ。
ええ、人を石化したのも今日のこともアーティファクトの所持者。アニメ風に言うならアーティファクトユーザーによって引き起こされた事件。
Why do you have to relate it to the anime? Doesn't make it any less confusing or any less you know, what's the word? Any less the like synonym for confusing, I guess. Sorry, not synonym. Antonym? You know, the opposite. And suddenly, it all clicks. With that neat summary, all of these unrelated jumps in the conversation come together to form an explanation. But while the logic all fits together, I'm not emotionally ready to accept it, and I find myself at a loss for words. I mean, it's crazy. The stuff in that dumb anime is real? And yet I've experienced it firsthand. I saw that impossible fire in that stone girl with my own two eyes. The only option left is to accept Kujo's explanation. But my common sense isn't making it easy for me. As I sit there furrowing my brow and frowning, unable to come to terms with the sudden turn of events, Kujo grins at me and continues.
そうよね。私も最初はそうだった。この髪飾りに触れた瞬間、使い方が分かったの。力の。でも、あまりにも現実離れしていて、信じていなかった。疲れてるのかなって思った。けど、好奇心もあって、お店で新見くんに話した後、家に帰って試してみたの。本物だった。お父さんの大事にしている時計が私のものになって、お父さんがいい時計だな、俺もそういうの欲しいって言ったの。
Okay, I guess the hair clip didn't come to her when she tested out the power. I guess these artifacts always latch onto you, is my guess.
その後何度か実験して確信した。この髪飾りは アニメと同じだって、アーティファクトと呼ぶべきものだって。実は悩んでいたのは心霊現象のせいじゃなかったの。心配してくれていたのに嘘をついてごめんなさい。
いきなり超能力に目覚めて戸惑っていたってことか。
それもあるけれど、アニメのアーティファクトは所有者を選ぶの。
詳しいな。
一応全部見たから。
She shrugs her shoulders with a sheepish grin. Well, that confirms what I suspected about the quality of the anime. But that's neither here nor there.
多分この髪飾りもそうなんだと思う。私は選ばれた。盗人の力が私にふさわしい力。ショックだったの。まあ、私の本質ってそうなんだって。
So, if this is following the anime's plot, don't we already know what the other artifacts do then?
真面目に生きてきたつもりだったの。誰かのものを自分のものにしたいって、そんな欲求が眠っていたなんて。醜い部分を丸裸にされたみたいで、それがとても恥ずかしくて怖くて、なかなか立ち直れなくて。
俺にはよくわかんねえけど、そんなに
難しく考える必要はないわ。力に善悪なんてないのだから。
I feel like her voice is very familiar, this plushie's voice.
ふん
She kind of reminds me of Beatrice from ReZero, but I could be wrong. A mysterious voice shatters Kujo's concern and turns it into panic. As for me, well, I'm less surprised. I mean, I saw it before it spoke. It was hard to miss, really. Something was moving which definitely wasn't supposed to be moving. It was you all along, huh?
あの時アドバイスしてくれたよな。おかげで助かった。
You didn't say Nani there? Oh, there we go. I actually didn't hear her say that. Kujo directs a blank stare my way. Of course, I wasn't talking to her. I was talking to that thing behind her. A little plushie sitting where it shouldn't be.
ようやく私を受け入れる準備が整ってくれたわね。ぬいぐるみのふりをするの大変だったわ。
Why did you have to pretend? Yes, the plushie. Is this our artifact? Its lips curl into a smile and it levitates up into the air. Okay, now that is surprising, you jerk.
はじめまして、お二方。自己紹介させてもらうわ。
It gently hovers over to us before landing on the table.
私の名はソフィーティア。アーティファクトを管理する組織、セフィロトの一員よ。
Okay, this is not my artifact. So, there's an organization for these artifacts. Okay. Sophitia, such a hard name to say. Why can't you just be Sophia? Kujo stares in awe at the plushie that just introduced itself as Sophitia. You know, that was an awfully quick introduction for such a complicated background. But I'm going to let it slide. Just this once.
ああ、そんなに怖がらないで。一応あなたたちと同じ種族よ。これは仮の姿。
Okay, so you have an artifact that makes you able to possess items, maybe?
ぬいぐるみが喋ったら他のどんな不可思議な話も信じるだろうって思ってあえてこんな姿になってみたんだけれど。
Okay, so she's able to transform. She looks us over with her cute, actually no, with her rather unsettlingly hollow eyes, and then she gives us an ugly smile.
その必要はなかったみたいね。もうあなたたちはぬいぐるみが話す以上の不可思議に巻き込まれている。
So what, are you gonna give us the task of collecting all of the artifacts? If so, this is gonna be like very typical shonen anime.
今アーティファクトと言いましたか。
ええ、言ったわ。
詳しいんですか。
もともとは私の世界のものなんだもの。当然ね。
私の。
Oh, sorry about that. Did I actually...
環境設定です。
Is there a way for me to not cut off the voice? Miyako Kujo. Voice playback off. BGM on voice playback. Toggle BGM volume. I don't really like that one yet. Is there really none?
ボイス音量の設定です。
What I'm trying to find is like if I click on the voices, like I want it to not actually H-scene male voice. Okay, I guess I don't have to voice act anything on the male voices on the H-scenes. Wait, what? Oh, it's turned off by default. I actually don't mind.
ダイアログの設定です。サウンドの設定です。
Yeah, there's none. There's nothing to actually stop you
メッセージの設
from
定です。
not cutting off the voices. That's annoying. Oh, whatever then. Kujo turns to meet my eyes. You can look at me like that all you want, but I don't know what you're expecting from me, Missy. I mean, I'm barely following what's going on here. Maybe because Kujo has more background in this stuff than I do, she buys the story abnormally quickly.
何から何までアニメと同じ。アーティファクトは異世界から流入したものなんですね。
あなたの視点から見れば、そうね。私の視点だとアーティファクトが異世界に流出したということになる。
I don't believe this plushie 100% though. She might still be lying.
原因は神器が壊れたから。
あら、あなた素晴らしく頭がいいわね。その通りよ。
やっぱりあの神器が勘抜き代わり。壊れてしまったことでアニメのように異世界へのゲートが開いて。
You're buying into this too easily, Kujo.
ええ、私たちの世界がつながった。
じゃあゲートを閉じない限り。
Well, circumstantial evidence does make this story possible, but I don't know, I'm skeptical about this.
この混乱は続くわ。
なるほど。
いや、なるほどじゃねえよ。なんだお前ら中二かよ。わかんねえよ。
あ、ごめんなさい。
ちょっと、この世界独自の表現は避けてくれない？うまく翻訳できないのよ。
翻訳？あ、言語は違うんですね。
当然よ。世界が違うんだから。
もしかして意思疎通ができているのもアーティファクトの。
だから待てって。
They both immediately stop talking. Kujo's keeping up with the plushie just fine, but I can't make heads or tails of what they're talking about. I need to start from the beginning.
まずお前は何なんだよ。
私？
そうだ、お前だ。
もう自己紹介はしたじゃない。私はセフィロトの。
それがわかんねえんだって。
She sighs at me. Just FYI, being treated like an idiot by creepy little plushie is extremely irritating.
理解力のないあなたに簡単に説明してあげる。
そりゃどうも。
私はアーティファクトを回収しに来たの。あなたたち道具の使い方もわからないお猿さんには過ぎた代物よ。
猿って何様なんだこのぬいぐるみは。
Saru is like monkey, so she's even mocking us in a more mocking tone than what it said there.
だから本体はぬいぐるみじゃないわよ。可愛くて美人な女の子。信じてないわね。だからお猿さんなのよ。
ああ。
いちいち怒らないでよ。事実なんだから。現に強大な力を得たことで我を失って同族を殺したじゃない。
Murder? So is that girl dead or not? Murder? The word hangs in the air. She must mean the statue. I can't deny that she was turned to stone. But to be completely straight about it, she was murdered. Murder by petrification. And the perpetrator can only have been one of these users.
さっきも言ったけど続くわよこの混乱は。現に力を持て余したお猿さんがさっきまで暴れていたでしょ。
あの炎はアーティファクトの力。
魂を焼く炎ね。使い手が未熟でよかった。そうじゃなかったらあなたたち今頃死んでいたわ。私もいつかあんな風に。そうなりたくないのなら協力なさい。協力？あなたの能力は使える。すべての能力に対してあなたの力は切り札になりうる。
What about me? It's not like I have any artifact right now.
あなたにアーティファクトを奪われたユーザーは力の制御を失う。つまりあなたは能力ごとアーティファクトを奪える。それを証明してみせた。言っていたわね。せめて世のため人のためにって。今がその時よ。見たでしょ、力に狂ったその末路を。事件はまだ続く。そしてまた人が死ぬ。私ならそう止められるかもしれない。あなたの力があれば。
Yeah, she's clearly gaslighting you, Kujo.
私の力が盗人の力なんてって自分に絶望したけれど、そのためにこの髪飾りが私を選んでくれたのなら、はい、やります。アーティファクトの回収手伝います。
ありがとう。交渉成立ね。
はい。
Kujo grabs the plushie's tiny nub of an arm and pumps it up and down. Together with this traveler from an alternate world, she'll protect our planet against the oncoming catastrophe. Miyako Kujo's entered the fray. You know, if this were an anime, everybody would be bouncing up and down with excitement over this scene. However, I watched the two of them dispassionately. Yeah, me too. If I were in your shoes, Sakura, I'd be like, whatever. So, where am I in this picture? I mean, they're totally ignoring me! This must be what it feels like to be an extra in a blockbuster movie. I'm just sitting on the sidelines, watching the main characters psych each other up. No, I feel like this Sopithia girl is gaslighting Kujo for her own benefit. Anyway, my bruised ego aside, I'm still a little confused about something.
なぜ俺の前に現れた？九条じゃなく俺の前に。
あなたが最初に見つけたユーザーだからに決まっているじゃない。
I'm not a user. I don't have any artifact.
なんだって？
Kujo gasps and looks at me, while I stand there frozen in surprise.
新見くんも。
いや、待てよ、待ってくれ。知らねえよ。アーティファクトなんて持っちゃいない。俺がユーザーのはずがない。
そうなのよね。アーティファクトを所持している様子がないのよね。
ああ、今の冗談かよ。
Wait, when we got hurt by the sacred relic, did it actually go inside of our body or something?
いいえ、私は冗談が好きじゃない。あなたは間違いなく何らかのアーティファクトに選ばれている。
でもその場合、
そう、力の使い方を理解するはず。あなたのように。うん、まだ名前を聞いていなかったわ。
あ、九条都です。よろしくお願いします。
よろしく、みやこ。ソフィーでいいわ。
Much easier name to say, thank you.
俺は。
あなたはいいわ。
なんでだよ。
とにかく、みやこのようにユーザーになった時点で理解するのよ。アーティファクトがその知識を主に与える。でもあなたは本気で分かっていないよね。とても珍しいケースだからあなたのそばにいたの。きっと普通じゃないアーティファクトの力を得ている。危険度で言えばあなたはトップクラスよ。最優先監視対象。
マジかよ。
So the reason she's been watching me is that she thinks I'm a freaking security risk? This means I'm a user too, right? So I have powers like Kujo?
何してるの？
いや、なんかビームでも出るかな。
That typical, you know, like, what do you call it? Like, I guess a boy kind of dream where you can shoot lasers from your eyes just like a freaking Superman and whatnot.
バカなの？
Shut up, Sophie. You can't. This is a guy's romance, okay? A guy's dream. Don't break his dream. I hate this thing.
あなたの監視はこれからも続けさせてもらう。もっとも、今一番危険なのは魔眼の所持者ね。
魔眼、石化のアーティファクトを持つユーザー。
その通り、石像は一体で終わらない。絶対に次の被害者が出る。
So can they remove what happened to the petrification? Like people who are petrified? Or is that just dead and donezo?
ミヤコ、魔眼のユーザーを探しなさい。未然に防ぐの。これ以上の強行を。
はい。
頼んだわよ。この姿では私は本来の力を出せないから全てはあなたにかかっている。
Can you take this thing to your house, please?
頑張ります。
あなたのように正義感の強い子に会えてよかったわ。そしてかける。
おい、俺のこと知ってんじゃねえか。
だから自己紹介しなくていいって言ったの。これ以上面倒事を増やさないように。あなたはおとなしくしていなさい。いいわね。
Damn, this girl's a bastard. Well, she sounds like a girl, but I should just say it. Damn you, Sophie.
ああ、はい。
結構ようやく協力者を得られたわね。こっちの世界のことはわからないからミヤコ、これからよろしくね。
ええ、よろしくお願いします。
かける？くれぐれも余計なことしないで。
だから分かったって。
まだ話したいことはあるけれど今日はこれくらいにしておきましょう。疲れちゃったし。じゃあね、また来るわ。
The space around Sophie warps and folds in on itself, and then she disappears. What a needlessly flashy exit. I guess she's trying to prove her power to us. Nevertheless, it's proof that she's some kind of supernatural entity.
すごい。
Kujo murmurs as she looks at the spot where Sophie once was.
異世界の住人と交流しちゃった。すごい。
Are you a chunibyo, Kujo?
すごいね。
The polar opposite to Kujo, trembling in excitement. I'm pretty sour.
不思議な生物と契約するみたいなのはありがちな流れだが、
It is, Kakeru, it is.
九条が選ばれし魔法少女だとしたら、俺どっちかっていうと敵だよな。
そうね。新見くん妙に警戒されてた。
俺本当に知らなかったんだぜ。アーティファクトだのユーザーだの。
分かってる。新見くんは嘘なんてついてない。
You don't know that. You're a bit too trusting, Kujo.
信じてくれてありがとう。
新見くんはどうして私のことを信じてくれたの？
Believe you in what?
何が？
私を信じて炎の中に飛び込んでくれた。
I mean, I wanted to save my sister.
ああ。一つは冷静じゃなかったこと。
Yeah.
空を早く助けてやりたかった。
No one else was doing anything. You were the only one I could trust at that moment.
あとはどう見ても俺の理解を超えた状況だったってことと、九条はそういう状況で適当なことを言うやつじゃないってこと。
私の人間性を信じてくれたの？
ああ、そうなのかな。
Kujo looks down, her bangs covering her expression. Maybe something I said bother her. She fumbles for her chopsticks and then reaches for a bite of food, but she stops halfway. She sets them back down and lifts her face once more. Suddenly, it hits me. Is she embarrassed? Her cheeks are flushed. I choose not to pry, picking up my own chopsticks and returning to my meal. Well, you're making this awkward now?
新見くん、
ん
よかったら一緒にやらない？協力してほしい。
犯人探しか？
ソフィーさんのことがなくても実はできないかなって思っていたの。今回のことで私はアーティファクトを奪えることが分かった。私の力なら石化の力を奪える。犯行を防ぐことができる。
Yeah, I don't really think I have that much of a sense of justice, Kujo.
俺は役に立てないぞ。
そんなことない。新見くんがいないと私こそ何もできない。
そんなことないだろう。
あるよ。私一人だったら今回のことも無理だった。感銘を受けたの。とても迷わず飛び込んだ新見くんに。新見くんはとても勇気のある人。私もこうなりたいって思ったの。私が頑張れたのは新見くんのおかげ。新見くんがいれば私何でもできる気がする。だからよかったら一緒に
It's coming on pretty strongly.
欲しいの。
Sorry for interrupting your voice acting there, Kujo.
お願い。
I carry a bite of rice to my mouth squeamishly, not answering. I can't stop blushing. I never would have guessed she thought so highly of me. I'm not used to this kind of treatment. My parents certainly never had such kind words for me. How do I even react to this?
ごめんなさい。やっぱりこんなこと付き合えないよね。
いや、やろう。
いいの？
ああ、野放しにしておけないだろう。人を石化なんかしちまうクソ野郎。
Kujo smiles. I do think that his main reason for going along with this is actually Kujo. Like, I don't think he has as much of a sense of justice, like I said, as Kujo does. She looks so happy. And now I'm back to blushing and staring at the floor. Man, I can't believe it feels so good to have a girl relying on you.
大げさな言い方かもしれないけれど、頑張ろうね。この街を。
ああ。
I nod, trying to look good in front of her. I suspect her strong sense of responsibility is what has Kujo so motivated. The burden of being reliable, huh? I don't think I want to have that, to be honest, Kakeru. Not to mention her sense of justice. But what about me? Honestly, my motives aren't so pure. I don't feel any obligation to protect the town or whatever. I just don't want Kujo to be disappointed in me. I want to get closer to her. I'm deplorable, I know. But I feel it's a good enough reason for now.
よかったらこれも食べて。
おう、ありがと
口に合わなかったら残していいからね。
う。いや、うまいよ、すごく。
よかった。新見くんは料理しないんだっけ？
ああ、そうだな。まったく。調理器具は一応揃えたんだけど。
そっか。あるんだ。じゃあ。
あ？
これからもよろしくお願いします。
Yeah, if she said she was gonna cook for me, that would be a bit too much, to be honest. I mean, I personally am a pretty practical person. I wouldn't mind her cooking for me. That's less food expenses. But for Kakeru here, he probably would have definitely gotten it. You know, his hormones as a teenager wouldn't be able to handle it, I guess.
ああ、 よろしく。
We bow to one another. I don't know if it's because we're both utterly embarrassed or if we're just worn out from talking, but the rest of our meal is a little awkward.
じゃあ今日はありがとう。
Well, sometimes you don't really need to say anything and you can enjoy the atmosphere. A silent atmosphere doesn't necessarily mean it's awkward.
ああ、気をつけてな。
You're just enjoying other people's company or each other's company, right? After we finish lunch, I see Kujo off at the entryway as she gets ready to go home. I thought of maybe walking her halfway there, but nah, no need to go that far.
明日は学校あるのかな。
多分な。あ、そうだ、忘れてた。
What about the government? See, the thing about this is that a lot of the ESP stuff, they're not really camouflaging it or trying to hide it from the government, right? There's got to be something that's going on with the government and society in general about this. It's not like this is something that only we know about the artifact and stuff. People have already seen the magical things that are happening.
あのアクセどうしたんだ？奪ったやつ。
ああ、所有権はもう手放したけれど。
Isn't that dangerous? Couldn't he have gotten that artifact back? She fishes around in her pocket.
まだある。
She pulls the guy's necklace out of her pocket. The artifact.
持ってたのか。
直接返すべきなんだけど、自動的に戻るかなって思って。
ああ、気づいたらそばにあるんだっけ。
ええ、そうなの。そのうち持ち主の元に戻ると思う。
それはそれでまずいよな。
And we'll destroy it?
そうよね。返さなきゃってそればっかり思ってて。
所有権を奪ったままにはできないのか？
できるけれど。
ああ、いや、今のやっぱなし。
Kujo doesn't think too highly of her powers. Keeping something that she stole from someone else would probably be really stressful for her.
ごめんなさい。そうするべきなのに。覚悟が足らないね。
Are you serious? What if he uses it for something else?
そんなことないって。よかったらそれ、俺に預けてくれないか？
Can we even take ownership of it?
そんなものずっと持ってるのも気持ち悪いだろ。どうせそのうち消えるなら俺が持っておく。
I'm guessing that the stuff that she stole wouldn't actually go back to its owner. So I guess we're gonna go keep it forever. Maybe we can use other people's artifact. Maybe that's our skill.
お願いしてもいい？
あ？
ありがとう。
If I were in Kakeru's shoes though, I wouldn't be so kind to say stuff like this. I probably would have encouraged her to keep it even if she doesn't want it. By spouting logic in the fact that, you know, maybe he might actually go berserk again if he does go back to him. I take the necklace from Kujo. So this is an artifact, huh? Looks like a plain old silver necklace.
やっぱり新見くんは頼りになるね。
そのうち失望させそうだな。
そんなことにはならないと思う。じゃあ今日はありがとう。
こちらこそ。弁当うまかった。
明日からもよろしくね。
ああ。
お邪魔しました。
What a very peaceful atmosphere. Kujo puts on her shoes, offers a deep bow, and walks out the door. Artifacts. An envoy from another world. The Evil Eye's user. Me being a security risk. Kujo's powers. Today has been just a sequence of crazy revelations. That said, the most serious event by far was, of course, Kujo coming to my apartment. Priorities, my dude. Priorities.
いや、数気合いするんじゃなかったかもな。
Possibly due to it all being so surreal, the situation hasn't really sunk in. But there's no denying that this object resting in my hand is a relic with powers transcending human knowledge. An artifact.
どうすっかな、これ。
忘れてた。それは回収させてもらうわ。
Oh, I guess we're not gonna be using the artifacts. Alright. I was gonna say it's probably better to give this to Sophie because she was the one that wants to keep the artifacts.
あぐ
As Sophie pops up out of nowhere, her zipper comes undone and she engulfs my hand. I flip out and jerk my hand away, only to find the artifact is gone.
アーティファクトが欲しいならそう言えよ。
言ったじゃない。あなたの手なんか食べないわよ。
Oh, sorry. She's gonna say baka. Fuck you, Sophie. She sneers at me and zips herself up. I'm really starting to hate this thing.
食ったのか。
こっちの世界に戻したの。今後ミヤコがアーティファクトを奪ったら私が回収するわ。
I still don't trust you, Sophie.
そうすれば元の持ち主には戻らない？
もちろん。
そうか。わかった。九条に伝えておく。
協力してくれるみたいね。あなたも。
余計な手間をかけさせない程度にな。
良い心がけね。あなたみたいな凡庸なお猿さんですらアーティファクトに認められるのだから、ユーザーはもっともっと存在するはず。
God, you have such a shitty mouth on your Oh!
いちいち見下してくるな。何個流出したんだ、アーティファクトは。
知らないわ。
はあ？
たくさんよ、たくさん。
お前もなかなか優秀な人材のようだな。
うるさいわね。とにかく血眼になって探しなさい。中には都のように正義の心を持ったユーザーもいるでしょう。味方につけるの。そして魔眼のユーザーを探し出し、アーティファクトを奪いなさい。それがあなたたちの最重要任務よ。
So since there's 4 episodes, I'm guessing with each episode we're gonna get a new heroine? I don't know whether or not it's all girls, by the way. I didn't take a look at the synopsis for all of the other games. I just took a look at the first one.
お前は何すんだ？おい。
今は時期じゃないのよ。暦が悪い。
She's gonna slack off.
暦？なんだよその言い訳は。
うるさいわね。今は私が動く時ではないの。それにあなたの監視で忙しいし。まあ、せいぜい頑張りなさい。
協力者にかける言葉かね。
細かい男ね。モテないでしょ、あなた。
Well, if Kakeru is like a miniature or like a younger version of me, then yes, I'm definitely not a hit with the girls.
ああ。
あら、やばん。あなたと喧嘩している暇なんてないの。今度こそさようなら。見てるわよ。あなたがどんな力を得たのか。危険な存在であることを忘れないように。
はいはい。
まったく。
Seemingly unsatisfied by my lackluster reply, Sophie makes another needlessly flashy exit. I'm beat. I hop into bed and let out a sigh. Artifacts. A negligent envoy from another world. I like how he changes that. The Evil Eyes user. Me being a security risk. Kujo's powers. And unknown allies.
とんでもねえことになった。
I may still be putting all the pieces together, but that much is obvious already. Honestly, I wish it were all just a bad joke. But if it means I can get closer to Kujo, I'm willing to put in the effort. God, your motives are so stupid, but I guess this is how a teenager would react. The town is in peril, and Kakeru Nimi rushes to its aid driven by his libido. I'm the freaking worst, I swear. Well, at the very least, you have something... like, you have a motivation driving you forward, Kakeru. When you're as old as me, it's kind of hard to find something that drives you forward. Well, no harm in giving it a shot. I've got to at least work hard enough to live up to Kujo's expectations. Okay, is this the opening? Kono sekai wa kimi o something? Chita... Is that bakemono? Data? The prologue is actually a bit longer than I thought, so I don't know what. Whoa, 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 whoa! Can I show that? I guess I could, but that's very dangerous. She was naked. Probably gonna have to censor that for people on YouTube. Haruka Kosaka. Noah Yuki. Is Satsuki also gonna be like a main character? Hmm. Yeah, she's gonna make us food. It's kinda nice. I mean, I don't dislike Kujo by any means. Not at all, mind you. I wasn't reading that. I only saw Kokokara. I think Kokokara is like from now on. But yeah, I feel like I'm really the type of person that doesn't. Ooh, we got a time skip. It's about a week. Yeah, wow, it is a week. It's been about a week since then. The incidents have only become more frequent. I guess to some degree, maybe I'm a scaredy cat. I feel like I don't really mind Kujo, right? I don't really dislike her as a person, and I feel like I could like her as a person. But I don't really have the driving force of wanting to make Kujo into my girlfriend, you know? I don't really have that sort of feeling for anyone, really. Maybe sometimes when it comes to having a girlfriend or whatnot, or, you know, like a significant other, you just gotta go for it and get to know each other, just like what Kakar is doing. Basically, just like what he's doing, yeah, libido pointing its way, or trying to make its own path. Which, I don't know, I guess I just don't have anymore. Sorry, the incidents have only become more frequent. Both the Evil Eyes user and new artifact users have been active. The opening of the gate plunged Shiro Mitsugawa into chaos, just like in the anime. Or so you think. In reality, it's been a total snooze fest. We had the human petrification case, and then the illusory fire. So it is illusory. It is an illusion. But since then, nothing to speak of has happened. This is just conjecture, but I suspect that after those two incidents caused such a huge stir, the various users, including the culprit behind the petrification incident, are probably lying low. As for the guy who turned the school into a sea of flames, the only thing I know is that he's stopped coming to school. There's only so much that a normal student can investigate on their own. Still, I can say with confidence that there's been no sign of the chaos Sophie predicted, at the very least. As a result, both finding the culprit and finding allies have turned out to be difficult objectives. The ever-responsible Kujo has been fretting over it, saying, "We need to resolve this as soon as possible." But, though I feel a little guilty admitting it, I've been hoping that things stay peaceful. My reasons should be readily apparent. So she is doing this. I thought this was gonna be like, you know, at the very end of the first episode, but damn. I can hear Kujo humming to herself in the kitchen. I don't know why, but Kujo has started to come over and make me dinner on days she doesn't have work. What the fuck? According to Kujo,
コンビニのお弁当や外食ばかりで栄養バランスが心配だから。
who am I to disagree? If a girl as kind as this makes me like dinner every single day, or I guess not every single day, but a couple of times a week, that's definitely up in my points. What the hell? Apparently, she finds my unhealthy eating habits unacceptable. Also, she says cooking for me is her way of thanking me for always looking out for her. I don't have the foggiest memory of always looking out for her, which makes me feel a little guilty, but not only do I have a girl coming over to cook for me, but it's not just any girl. It's the most popular, smart, and beautiful girl in class. No, in my grade. No, in the whole damn school. No way could I let an event straight out of my dreams slip through my fingers. When Kujo offered to cook for me, I played it cool and said she didn't need to bother. But in my mind, I was flexing like I won a title match. God damn it, this guy.
オリーブオイル。
Though quick, Kujo never makes a false step in the kitchen. Today, she's making Salisbury steak. Its savory aroma wafts through the air. Ah, you're making me hungry. I haven't eaten here. Ah, this must be what it feels like to live with your girlfriend. What bliss. Actually, I don't think so. Kakeru. Not a lot of girls nowadays can actually cook. I know my friend, when he was living with his girlfriend, the girl never cooks. So this is like a super idealistic scenario even in anime. Each day, Kujo coming over is a real treat. Typo? Or it would be. Each day Kujo comes over is a real treat. Maybe that's not a typo.
ハンバーグヘイハンバーグヘイ
If only she were out of the picture. Why can't my clever little sister take a freaking hint?
あのさ、にいに
なんだよ。
毎回こいつ邪魔だなって顔するのやめてくれません？
あ、気づいてたのか。
露骨すぎてそりゃ気づきますよ。そんなに邪品にしていいんですかね。晩ご飯代私が出してるんですよ。
お前じゃなくておとんだろ。
ちょっと多めにもらって着服してます。
とんでもない悪党だなお前は。
ごめんなさい。私の分まで出してもらって。
I mean, you're the one cooking it. I think that's fair trade. Kujo sets out a serving platter. On the platter sits a beautifully plated, multicolored salad.
ちゃっかり自分の分まで作っちゃって。ごめん。
気にしなくていい。
Oh, sorry about that.
せっかくだから一緒に食いたいし、わざわざ計算するのも面倒だし。
そうそう、料理作ってもらってる手間賃ってことで。ありがとう。できる限りお金かけないようにするから。本当気にしなくていいですよ。お父さんからちゃんと食費もらってますし。ダメ。お金は大事にしないと。
I agree, girl. I agree. Gotta be cost effective. When it comes to daily necessities, be cost effective, guys. It'll save you a lot of money in the long run. Kujo emphasizes her point, clenching her fist.
おじい様がね、よく言ってるの。お金は贅沢するとすぐなくなっちゃうから、日頃から節約を心がけるべきだって。
A wise person, Kujo. A wise person. You're from a rich family and yet you still uphold these like very good mottos. Very nice.
新見くんの普段の食生活だと、コンビニだと1000円近くになるし、うちのお店でも500円はかかるし。
500 yen for a meal though is not that bad. Even here, well, here in Southeast Asia or Indonesia in particular, you can get a decent meal for $1. But, you know, it's not like it's a very fulfilling meal. It's just, I don't know, 500 can get you like restaurant food. That's like super cheap in my opinion.
お昼もコンビニのパンやおにぎりでしょ。1日の食費だけでもバカにならないよね。
Like the dollar I mean when you buy food here in Indonesia is like the street food sort of thing.
でも夕飯だけでも作ればかなり抑えられるよ。今日はレタスが安かったし、ひき肉も半額だったの。そうやって安い食材を選べば今よりもずっと食費を。え、主婦？
Kujo waxes elegant over the subject. What? Waxes elegantly? I guess that's supposed to be elegantly over the subject while I stand there listening, half in horror and half in awe. Miyako Kujo. See, this is why I think that Kakeru is from a wealthy family. He doesn't have to think too much about purchasing like food for himself. If you were a broke college student or I guess in this case as a high school student, It'd be penny pinching, man. The heiress of the Corona Group, a titanic corporation. Her hobbies, coupon clipping and bargain hunting. She's so prudent with how she spends money that she'd cringe to see a guy like me buy 3 sweet rolls at once, without a thought and say, what conspicuous consumption? Kujo is the antithesis of what you'd expect from a wealthy person. If anything, she comes off as a model proletarian? What the heck is that word? This is a side of her I've only come to know in this past week. What's more, that stiff attitude towards me has started to soften up. I'm pretty excited about how fast we're growing closer.
でセロリなんだけど、あ、セロリ入れちゃったんだけど、二人とも大丈夫？
Those that actually are picky with food don't deserve the food that they're being made. That's what I think. Sadly, that's a lot of my family. I really find it very hypocritical of my family that they force feed me anything back when I was a kid. Like if I don't like something, they would ask me to at least try it out first before saying that you don't like it. But here I am as a grown-up and I see so many people in my family not eating a lot of food.
問題なし。
ミーヤンに同じく。よかった。あ、いけない。ハンバーグ焦げちゃう。
She gasps and rushes off to the kitchen.
よかった。もうちょっとかな。先にサラダ食べてて。
えーっす。
はーい。
What? We're gonna eat the salad first? Or so we say, but neither of us makes some move for the salad. We're not about to start eating without Kujo, while she's slaving over a hot stove for us. I mean, eating something first without like the main dish is kind of weird to me. I'm the type of person that likes a variety of food. Like, if the Salisbury steak is not done yet, then I wouldn't eat my whole meal. You know, I kind of want to eat some Salisbury steak and then change it up with the salad, you know? Just not eat the salad first and then the Salisbury steak after. I want to have differentiation in my taste buds.
いやー、いいお嫁さんになりますな。
よせよ。
何こいつもう時々から。
I don't think she said kimoy, did she?
うるせえよ、お前帰れよ。
お前が帰れ。
俺んちだっつうの。
いずれ私の家だ。
アホか。
アホって言った方がアホなんです。チーズ乗せる人。
はーい。
0% fat cheese, okay?
私も。
Kujo's charming voice brings our pointless scuffle to a close. With a practiced hand, she puts on the finishing touches. And 5 minutes later, a delicious-looking dinner adorns the table. I'm hungry, guys.
いただきます。いただきます。
いただきます。
I put my hands together and offer a prayer, and then I pick up my chopsticks.
ソースも宮子先輩作ったの？
Man, I really wish they actually had a CG for just the food.
ケチャップとかスターソースとか混ぜただけだけどね。
めっちゃうまい。
よかった。柔らかい。うちのお母さんのハンバーグなんかカチカチなんだよね。
What the hell? Our mom can't cook? I start chowing down. This is incredibly good, and that's no empty compliment. Of course, it doesn't hurt that Kujo was the one who made it. Nonetheless, with all due respect to mom, it's simply no contest as to whose cooking is better.
じゃあそろそろやりますか。
Still chewing her food, Sora reaches for her laptop. Unfortunately, we don't have the luxury of taking our time over dinner. You see, this is also our strategy briefing meeting. I guess we talked to Sora about the whole thing.
アガスティアの葉を引き続き監視しておるのですが。
Who the fuck is that? The leaves of Agostia. In Mobius Ring, the cycle of reincarnation, it's the name of the organization the protagonists belong to, apparently. Sora isn't talking about the anime though. There's also a website of the same name. Yes, it exists in spite of the anime's lackluster popularity. Or perhaps that lack of popularity is exactly the reason they felt the need to make a website. Whatever the reason, a fan site nonetheless emerged, borrowing the name The Leaves of Agostia. Since posting their appreciation for the anime on Twitter, Titter is bound to make them a laughingstock, like-minded fans congregate there to gush among themselves. It's pathetic. Unsurprisingly, it was trolled constantly while the anime was still airing, and then it basically died once the anime finished. But the webmaster still valiantly updates the blog. That's all there is to the site now. Until recently, that is.
何か気になる書き込みあった？
ちょっと待ってね。
She navigates around and pulls up a role-playing forum. There, people talk to each other while pretending to be characters in the anime or original artifact users that they've made up. Oh my god! Truly, a home for the dregs of humanity. Normally, you wouldn't catch me dead browsing a site like this. But right now, I can't let my delicate sensibilities get in the way of the business at hand.
ほら、ここ見て。今日の朝投稿された書き込みなんだけどね。
She scrolls down the forum and directs us to a post by a person calling herself the Queen of Eden.
アーティファクトの力をうまく制御できないって相談なんだけど、見て見て。アーティファクトが力の使い方を教えてくれたけどってあって。
So this is our only lead, huh?
アニメにはない設定を語ってる。アニメではアーティファクトは何も教えてくれない。ただのアイテム。あ、そこらへん知らなかったな。私が引っかかったのはね、次の行。
力が暴走して男性が自分に夢中になる。モテすぎて困る。なんか見覚えあるな。
Is that the girl that we saw on the previous episode? The underclassman, I guess? Though I don't know whether or not she's an underclassman or a senior from what Kakeru said.
でしょ？これ絶対あの人だよ。
Yeah, it's Haruka, right? I think that's her name from looking at the opening.
知ってる人？
一方的にだけどな。登校中によく見かけるんだ。逆ハーレムになってる女子。
A reverse harem.
日に日に信者が増えていくんだよね。性格もなんか変わってるし。性格が？
Is she actually a queen now?
最初はおどおどしてたんだ。急にモテてはっちゃけたんだろうって思ってたんだが。
Oh my god.
そんなもんじゃないよあれは。モテ方も異常だし。異常なモテ方。確かに疑わしいね。
Why is she posting this on the internet though?
書き込んだ人と同一人物ならやっぱりあの人ユーザーだよ。ここの噂を聞いたんだよ絶対。
Ah yes, the rumor. They say there are real users mixed in with the role players on this Leaves of Agostia forum. The rumor sounded harmless and silly at first, but after the human petrification incident and the illusory fire, a lot of people are starting to believe it, or at least show interest in it. And that group of interested people, obviously, includes us. We've noticed there are people writing things that only real users would know. It quickly became apparent that this forum has become a meetup spot for real users pretending to roleplay. And thus, here we are monitoring it. Now, as to why we've entrusted this task to Sora.
みやこ先輩に私、それに一応2にもあの火事の人もだし、やっぱうちの生徒がユーザーになってるっぽいな。
Fearless leader? Who the fuck? Oh, is she also a user? No, that's not just her messing around and adding herself to the count. This brat ended up being a user too. Her ability is perceptual control. With her power, she man-make people and objects more conspicuous. She man? I think that's a typo there. Or less. I don't really know what to say about her ability. She hasn't shown us her artifact, so I don't know what it looks like. It seems she may also have additional abilities which allow her to steal things, like Kujo, and maybe even some sort of destructive power, but she's keeping that a secret for the time being. I thought searching for allies would prove difficult, but it turned out I had one right beside me the whole time. So we got a new member to join our party with hardly any effort.
石化事件の犯人もうちの生徒なんじゃない？ そう結論付けるのは早いと思う。私たちの共通点ってフェスの会場にいたことだよね。
That makes sense.
正確には神器が壊れた後にだろうな。でもそうなると遠くから来てる人もいるだろう。俺たちの手には負えないな。
That's true.
そうね。もしゲートが神社付近にあるなら的外れな推測ではないと思うのだけれど。あ、そうそう、思い出した。会場に気になる人でもいた？そうじゃなくてずっと聞こうと思ってたの忘れてた。何？アニメのこと。
アニメ？
みやこ先輩、アニメとの類似点がどうのこうのってよく言うじゃん。さっきも言ってたし。
I really hate how they abbreviate Miyako senpai to just Mia there. Localization. It's gonna bother me. But whatever.
そうね。それでこのサイトにたどり着いたわけだし。私見たことないからピンときてないんだよね。ゲートとか異世界とか。実は2位にもそうでしょ。
俺はそういうもんって流しちまってたけど、確かにそうだな。
でしょでしょ。家事とか見たし、実際に私もユーザーになってるし、今更って感じはあるんだけどさ。ここの掲示板の人たちがやたら盛り上がってるのがなんかこう温度差なんだよね。
Not really?
エデンの女王もうさ、なんか怪しいって思っただけでみやこ先輩みたいにアニメにはないこと書いてるってわかんなかったし。
I mean, couldn't you just infer from what happened on the previous arsonist guy?
なるほど。そうね。アニメの知識がないと。そうそう。もしかしたら大事な情報を見落としてるかもなーって。だから聞かないとって思ってた。
一応全部見たんだっけ？
全25話全部。何気に2クールのアニメだったんだ。
Me too.
かなり力入れてたみたいだから。私はよくわからないんだけど、作画あの良さには一定の評価を得ているみたい。
内容は？
Kujo smiles sheepishly. Well, that explains that.
つまんねえと。そこまでは言わないけれど、難解というか説明不足というか。
Bullshit. Bullshit.
ちらっとサイト見たけど、そのあたりがマニアには受けてるみたいだな。逆に
思わせぶりな要素を深読みして楽しむタイプの人たちだ。
God damn it, that's me. That's me, damn you.
町おこしのアニメだから、白蜜川の言い伝えを現代風にアレンジしたストーリーになるのかな。小さい頃に聞いた話ではあったから、ちょっと懐かしくはあったかな。言い伝えって何でしたっけ？
小学校で言ったろ、つくも神社。
ああ、あの課外学習の定番ね。
その時成瀬のおじいちゃんに聞いたじゃん、白蜜川の言い伝え。
だからそれどんな話？
Oh no.
おい、
おじいちゃんの声すっげえ穏やかで眠くなるんだよね。
This is very realistic.
わかる。それ超わかる。昔この土地に大きな災いがあって、白蛇様が助けてくれたって話だね。
その白蛇様が何？お守り的な感じで置いてってくれたのがあの神器だよな。
Yeah, I kind of remember Naruse sort of talking about this.
そうそう。なんだよ、ちゃんと覚えてるじゃん。
部分的にはな、部分的に。どんな災いだったとか覚えてない。
そのあたりは私も曖昧なんだけど、アニメと絡めて話してもいい？
You don't recall it. Either it doesn't happen or...
お願いします。アニメではね、過去にアーティファクト戦争っていうものがあって、白蛇様、アニメでは聖女様って言われてるんだけど、聖女様が戦争を終わらせるの。聖女様のアーティファクトの力で異世界のゲートを開き、邪悪なアーティファクトをそこに封じた。
So basically the saint right now is Sophie, I guess.
ああ、ゲート。
その聖女様のアーティファクトがこちらの世界でいうつくも神社の神器だったんだと思う。
それが壊れちゃったからゲートが開いて邪悪なアーティファクトがこっちの世界に戻ってきちゃったと。
それがアニメの冒頭ね。そして今私たちが置かれている状況でもある。
なるほど、やっとしっくりきたかも。確かにアニメと同じ展開だ。
でしょ。白蜜川の大きな災いもアーティファクトが引き起こした天災、いえ人が扱うのだから人災ね。
True.
そういうことだったのかもしれない。今回のようにソフィーさんの世界とつながってしまってこちらの世界にないはずのアーティファクトが流出した。その結果大きな災いが起きた。
それを解決したのが白蛇様だったと。
その白蛇様って何すか？なんで
蛇の化身って言い伝えみたいだけど正体は謎みたい。
そっか。アニメはどうなるの？
ゲートの監視をしていたアガスティアの派に所属するユーザーが邪悪なユーザーと戦うってストーリーだね。
思ったより単純なストーリーだな。ユーザーってどうやって選ばれてるの？アニメでは。急に渋い顔になりましたよ。
Randomly?
そのあたりは語られていなかったような。
だよ、それが分かれば楽できたのに。
邪悪なユーザーってのの判断基準は？
アガスティアの派に所属しているユーザーが善でそれ以外は悪ってくくりだったかな。
すっげえ大雑把。
もともとこちら側にあったアーティファクトを善とするなら私の持つアーティファクトは悪ってことになるね。
Sadly, it doesn't work that way, to be honest.
私もニーヤンもじゃん。
深く考えても仕方なさそうだな、これは。
でもなんか欲しいよね、血筋とかさ。
そういう単純なのがあればそりゃ分かりやすいけどな。
ミャオコ先輩とかそれっぽくない？
私
お嬢様だし、なんかそんなイメージ。
イメージ
そういえば白蜜川って多くないか？9がつく名字。
Character for 9? Huh.
あ、うちのクラスにいるよ、九段坂さん。
あと九重さんとか。
予想なんだけどつくも神様から取ったのかな。つくもさんってそのままの人もいるし十津川さんって名字の人もいるよ。
9と10か。そこら辺の名字の人が由緒正しい血筋とかなのかな。ユーザーはその人たちから選ばれるとか？
Could be.
でも新見くんもそらちゃんもユーザーなんだから関係ないと思うな。
あ、そっか。白とか蛇とかついてれば完璧だったのにね。
実はな、そら。
Shut the fuck up, Kakeru.
何？
新見の2は海だろ。
うん。
実は昔は海じゃなくて蛇だったらしいんだよ。白蜜川の海。
Wait, is he actually being serious here?
マジっすか。じゃあ、私らも神の血統？
っていう設定を今思いついた。
Fuck you, I knew it. I was like, usually when people say Jitsua, that's when they actually just start spouting bullshit.
痛いな。
一瞬信じたでしょうが。
Same, Sora, same.
新見くんもそういう冗談言うんだね。
この人超適当っすよ。みやこ先輩の前だとカッコつけてんすよ。
Agreed, Sora. Agreed once again.
うっせえな。とにかくだ。地道に探すしかないってことだ。
何を？
ユーザーだよ。
ああ、はい。
少なくとも魔眼のユーザーはこの町にいるはずだもんね。私たちの手の届く範囲で頑張るしかないね。
だな。街の外にいるかもしれないが、まあそっちはそっちでソフィーが何とかするだろう、多分。
そのソフィーってさ、ぬいぐるみなんでしょ？私まだ会ったことないんだけど。
私もまだ2回くらいかな。
俺の部屋にはちょいちょい来るんだけどな。嫌味言って帰ってく。まだ魔眼を見つけられないのかって。
今はおとなしくしているけれど、そのうち犯行を再開するかもしれない。
What? Why would they do that though?
かもな。
捕まえられるのは私たちだけ。燃える展開だぜ。これがアニメならまさに主役。この掲示板でうかつな書き込みでもしてくれるとすぐにでも特定できるのにね。
実際問題、そういうミスしてくれないと探しようがないよな。法則性がないならさ。
Are the people that have the powers mostly gonna be school kids? If an adult actually has it, I think they'd be pretty smart about going about using them.
なんか書き込んでみる？魔眼のユーザーが興味引きそうな。
俺の力を人間相手に試してみたい。経験者がいたら助言してくれ、みたいな。
そうそう。
そもそも犯人はこの掲示板見てるのかな。
さあな。ひとまず今は怪しそうな人を片っ端から調べていくしかないな。
そうだ、それなんだけど。
前に話してた常連さん？
そう。やっぱりあの人もユーザーな気がして。
I guess the parfait girl.
常連ってどの人？
いつもパフェ頼んでくれる。
パフェクイーンか。
そうそうそう。
パフェクイーンで通じるのかよ。怪しいのその人。
怪しいっていうか、私が怪しまれているというか。先週だっけ、うちのお店で3人集まったでしょ。ソラちゃんがユーザーだって分かった時。
ああ、あの時ね。
私が能力実演したけど地味すぎて全く実感してもらえず切れた時ですね。
So is her skill really that awful?
ああ、あの時もいたな、あの子。
かなり大きな声で話しちゃったから、私たちがユーザーであることが彼女にバレたのかもしれない。
何か言われたのか？
ただあの日を境に睨まれるようになって。
ほほう、それは怪しい。
他に心当たりはないよな。
そうね、ない。魔眼のユーザーの話もしたでしょ。それで私たちを警戒し始めたってことは。
犯人？
I don't think so, but maybe. Maybe.
その可能性もあるのかなって。
It would be a lot more interesting to think that the person that has the evil eye is actually someone who went berserk too and didn't really mean to kill anyone.
あの子、クホの子だよな、確か。
そうね、九宝女学院の制服着てるね。
うちの学校の生徒説消えました。
でも年代は一緒だ。学生がユーザーになりやすいって線はあるかもな。
絞れはしたけどまだまだね。
ひとまずパフェクイーンを調べたいな。
よかったら一度お店に来てもらってもいい？睨まれてるの私の自意識過剰かもしれないし。
パフェクイーンって毎日いるの？
ほぼかな。学校終わってからすぐ来てくれる時とちょっと遅めに来てくれる日も。
夕飯食ってる時によく見るし、ちょうど今くらいの時間だよな。
パフェの後紅茶も頼んでくれて1時間とか長い時は2時間くらいゆっくりしてるかな。
なるほどな。空を駅まで送った後、ちょっと覗いてみるか。
何？一緒に行けばいいじゃん。
いやいやいや。
何？いやいやいやって。
でも遅くなっちゃうし。そっか、バイト以外で会ったことないし試しに行ってみるのもいいのかな。
飯食ったら行こ
付き合ってもらってもいい？
う。もちろん。
ありがとう。
あれ？だから私は？
You're gonna go to the train, okay, Sora?
遅くなっちゃうからソラち ちゃんは無理しないで。
I guess we're Kujo because she's 20 minutes away from her house with a bike. She doesn't really need to rely on a train.
別に無理じゃないけど。
いやいやいや、
だからなんだよそれ、喧嘩売ってんの？
早く食えよ。せっかく作ってくれたハンバーグが冷めるぞ。
やだ、チーズが固まっちゃう。
目玉焼きのせてもよかったね。
あ、それ次でお願いします。
They're not using rice, huh? Yeah, I guess it's salad, miso soup, and then the Salisbury steak. I guess that's pretty well balanced in terms of calories too. There's a long road ahead of us, but we're moving forward bit by bit. If we do manage to find the Evil Eye's user and put an end to their murderous ways, that could also mean the end of Kujo's cooking and our sharing meals. I'd be pretty torn up about that. I think to myself as I munch on a bite of salad.
ごめんね。もうちょっとだけ待っててね。
Alright, I think this is gonna be where I end the episode though. We're not gonna go confront that parfait queen. I actually don't remember her name, so I'm still gonna call her the parfait queen. But yeah, today's episode was actually pretty interesting. I still don't really trust Sophie that much. I do think she's probably trying to manipulate us. And you know, it's pretty easy to manipulate teenagers, in my opinion. I don't know, I feel like we're a bit too trusting of Sophie here about the backstory and whatnot. But maybe I'm overthinking stuff. I could be overthinking it. Probably because I've been playing a lot more like stuff that needs thinking, like the 25th case, where I just overthink about everything in that game. And turns out there's no actual clear conclusion to my thoughts. So that sucks. But hopefully this game is gonna be pretty good. Like so far, the action scenes are pretty nice. They don't really get too lengthy, not too wordy. And so far it's alright. I do like the characters a lot more now. They're a bit more fleshed out. As per usual, of course, with these visual novels. You just gotta keep knowing the characters and then know their quirks and whatnot. And also, of course, talk with them so that we can see the back and forths. But yeah, I believe this is a good stopping point for this next episode.
セーブ画面です。
For the second
セーブし
episode.
ますね。
So yeah,
セーブしました。
hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Give this video a like if you guys like it. Sub if you guys haven't. Patreon will be getting these episodes early access along with everything uncensored. Though, I think I will be censoring that opening because we see Kujo not having freaking clothes. Like, it's not like she was showing any nipples or anything, but it's pretty out there. You know, I don't wanna get in trouble with YouTube. Damn you, YouTube. I'm still gonna show the opening, of course. I'm just gonna like black bar her body. That's about it. Also, for people on YouTube that aren't on Patreon just yet, feel free to become a free member because that's gonna be where I put first episode previews of future playthroughs. And with that, guys, I will see you guys on the next one.